Good evening. I would like to ask for everyone to stand for the invocation and the pledge, and I'll call Nova Light down to the dais to lead us in our invocation.
Heavenly Father, we come to you today asking you for your guidance and wisdom as we begin this meeting. May every decision be made in the best interest of the students and staff. Let everyone who speaks on issues before the board be courteous and respectful of one another. May your will be done. In Jesus' name, amen.
Thank you, Ms. Light. And I would now like to call Nevia Bates up to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
You may be seated, except for you, Nevia. How are you doing today? You have the sweetest little voice. You are made to be an actress, I feel like, one day. You're great at public speaking.
Thank you.
So I hear that you are 6 years old. What grade are you in?
First,
And where do you go to school?
Lake Alfred Elementary, which is the best school.
Oh, yeah? I believe it. And what are your favorite subjects at school?
Reading, science, art, music, enrichment, and gifted.
Very nice. You like a lot of it then.
Yeah.
So what do you like to do for fun?
Sometimes I like to play on my tablet. Well, maybe a lot.
All right.
And sometimes I like begging. And I think that's all.
All right. And so what do you want to be when you grow up? Have you given any thought to it?
Yes, either a YouTuber or a vet.
A YouTuber or a vet? I like that. Very good. So what's your favorite animal?
Dogs, cats, and cheetahs, and jaguars.
All right. Well, I can't wait to see where you go. And if you are a vet, I will certainly bring my puppy to you. So thank you so much for joining us tonight. Do you have any friends or family with you here?
Yes.
Can you introduce us to them?
Yes.
Yes.
So first is my dad, my mom, and my auntie. And my auntie works at Lake Alfred Elementary, and she is the minister.
Very nice. Well, thank you guys so much for bringing Nevia and for all that you do to help her succeed at home. So thank you for coming and helping us tonight. We appreciate you.
You're welcome. And
Have
so it's Nevea.
Nevea, I'm so sorry. I appreciate you correcting me. Nevea, I won't mess it up again.
Okay.
Thank you. And have a wonderful rest of the school year.
Thank you. Okay.
Thanks. All right. All right. Our first order of business is to accept the October 25th, 2022 school board agenda.
Move approval. Second.
Ms. Cunningham and Dr. Allen. Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? And the motion carries. And next, we will have our special recognitions, and I will turn it over to Superintendent Hyde.
Madam Chair, members of the board, members of the staff and community, thank you for being here this evening. Nevea, great job. She already left. Wow, that was quick. She's going to be an amazing televet. First, I'd like to ask school board member Dr. William Allen to please step down to assist us with special recognitions this evening. And while he's transitioning, I'd also like to ask Dr. Shannon Gillespie, Senior Manager of Social Work Services and Bullying Prevention, along with Sherry Scott, Director of Student Services, to please come forward for National Bullying Prevention Awareness Month. Will School Board Member Kay Fields please read the proclamation?
Proclamation, School Board of Polk County, Bartow, Florida. Whereas bullying is an aggressive and unwanted behavior that is intended to harm, intimidate, or humiliate the victim, involves a real or perceived power imbalance between the aggressor or aggressors and student who is bullied, and is repeated over time or causes severe emotional trauma. And whereas bullying is the aggressive use of power, targeting another person or group of people with repeated, unwanted words or actions, hurting them emotionally or physically. And whereas bullying often targets individuals based on their race, religion, ethnicity, gender, LGBTQ plus identity or disability status. And whereas targets of bullying are at increased risk for depression, anxiety, sleep difficulties, lower academic achievement, lower attendance rates at school, and failing or dropping out of school. And whereas children who bully are at greater risk of engaging in more serious violent behaviors. And whereas children who witness bullying often feel less secure, more fearful, and intimidated. And whereas various researchers have concluded that bullying is the most common form of violence, affecting millions of American children and adolescents annually. And whereas the negative effects of bullying, such as increased risk of youth suicide, should be acknowledged. And whereas the School Board of Polk County believes it is the collective responsibility of all staff members and administration to protect the health, safety, and well-being of all students, to promote healthy development, to safeguard against bullying, for the protection of the target, aggressor, and bystanders, and to address barriers to learning. Now, therefore, be it resolved, the School Board of Polk County hereby proclaim October 2022 as National Bullying Prevention Awareness Month. Congratulations, ladies.
Thank you. Please.
Vision, Kim Long, and the behavioral health team just to come down and accept it with me. Is that okay? Mm-hmm. Okay. And so October, as we know, we're talking about is Bullying Prevention Month, and our school social workers have been working with each of their schools to participate in school-wide activities that promote kindness on our campuses. And tonight we have Jeanette Perez, one of our lead school social workers for bullying prevention, and Kim Long with her Polk Vision team for behavioral health. As we know, there's a strong correlation between bullying and mental health concerns. And our work is super important because it is more than just a campaign to say that we all stand against it. One facet of that is mental health supports help to resolve the underlying issues of bullying. And I want to thank our school counselors, our school psychologists, our school social workers, our mental health facilitators that offer that mental health support. We stand together in unity. Thank you.
Thank you. Now I'd like to ask Cassandra Peters, Director of ESE, to come forward for National Disability Awareness Month. And will School Board Member Lisa Miller please read the proclamation?
Polk County, Bartow, Florida. Whereas 2022 marks the 32nd year passage of the Americans with Disabilities Act of 1990, because it took that long, and the 77th anniversary of the National Disability Employee Awareness Month. And whereas the theme of this month is America's Recovery is Powered by Inclusion, reflects the importance of ensuring that people with disabilities have full access to employment and community involvement during the national recovery from the COVID-19 pandemic. And whereas employees and students with disabilities are of all racial, ethnic, educational, social, and economic backgrounds and are valued members in Polk County Public Schools. And whereas Polk County Public Schools encourages partnerships between the district, post-secondary institutions, and the community at large to promote inclusion, as well as equity in the hiring practices for people with disabilities. And whereas Polk County Public Schools Transition Services provides post-secondary educational opportunities for students with disabilities between post-secondary institutions, local technical colleges, and district work-study programs that lead to internships and paid employment. And whereas there are more than 14,900 students with disabilities enrolled in our K-12 system to include our post-secondary schools. And whereas early intervention, education, and employment are considered vital to enabling our students with disabilities to enjoy the rights of citizenship. And whereas all Polk County Public Schools are committed to promoting the 4 principles of the American Disabilities Act by providing instruction related to disability history and the disability rights movement through school curriculum and other school-related activities. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the School Board of Polk County do hereby proclaim October 2022 as Disability Awareness Month.
Okay, so I thank you so much. So I appreciate the opportunity to come forward and speak on behalf of all the great things that Polk County is doing. We have a lot of great activities happening this month. So I just want to put a PSA in for the ESC Symposium this Saturday at Auburndale High School. And I feel that this district, that we as a whole are coming together as a community even more so with everything that we've come out of with the pandemic, and our families are coming out so educated and so willing to help us as a partnership together with the district office. So I'm hopeful that all of you are able to come out this weekend on Saturday to Auburndale High School at 8:30. Breakfast is served. Lunch is served, and we have great guest speaker coming, and we have several other opportunities for transition, post-secondary, pre-K, all of the gambit of inclusive practices that we embody here as Polk County as a family. So thank you, and we appreciate all that you as our families do, and we appreciate you as a board. Thank you.
Thank you. Next, I'd like to invite Chief of Staff Jason Pitts to the microphone. He'll provide us with an update as to our recognition for our Hurricane Ian workers.
Good evening, board members. We are still collecting data for all the work and effort that went in by our employees to, 1, prepare our schools and departments for the hurricane. Number 2, to shelter our residents and those in need during the hurricane, and 3, to prepare our schools and departments to reopen after the storm. By the next board meeting, we'll have reports available for the board members and our community to effectively communicate all of these efforts. We will wait to begin these warranted recognitions so that each employee in each department that left their homes and families during this time can be appropriately recognized and ensure that no one is overlooked. We are also working on an event or events so we can celebrate what Polk County Schools did for our community during this significant event. Thank you. Update to come.
At this time, Angie Ellison, Executive Director, and Brianna Castano of Interact Alliance will come forward for Red Ribbon Month, and will School Board Member Lori Cunningham please read the proclamation.
Proclamation, School Board of Polk County, Bartow, Florida. Whereas substance abuse is the most common risk factor impacting youth and society, and the prevention education programs offered by Interact Alliance have proven to be effective tools in reducing risk factors and strengthening protective factors with the recent research showing that 84% of Polk County students in 6th through 12th grades chose not to drink alcohol. And whereas Interact Alliance has been providing prevention education to youth and adults in the Polk, Hardee, and Highlands County communities since 1985, working diligently to reduce the abuse and underage use of harmful substances, along with involvement in risky behaviors through community awareness and involvement, prevention education, economic support, and leadership development. And whereas Interact Alliance serves as the fiscal agent for the Stand Up Polk, adult-based, and Youth Impact, youth-based coalitions for a drug-free Polk, and works in collaboration with the county and local law enforcement to host the annual Own the Upside Prevention Summit, medication take-back events, and establish permanent prescription depositories to safely and properly dispose of unused medications. And whereas the 37th annual Red Ribbon Campaign will be highlighted by the Red Ribbon Run and Challenge, presented by Interact Alliance and title sponsor Publix Supermarkets on Saturday, October 29th, 2022. Creating a community event in which elementary and middle school students participate in race heats, and families can run or walk in a family fun run around picturesque Lake Mirror, and participate in weekly online health challenges during October to support prevention education, anti-bullying, and encourage healthy life choices. Whereas every citizen is encouraged to wear a red ribbon to symbolize our commitment to a healthy and safe environment for each citizen, and participate in events during the month of October and throughout the year that support a positive, healthy lifestyle. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the School Board of Polk County does hereby proclaim October 2022 as National Red Ribbon Month. Yay!
Thank you very much. I wanted to also point out that Samantha McCain is with me, my Assistant Executive Director, and I wanted to recognize in the audience Audrey Kelly Fritz, who without her partnership, we would not be able to be as effective as we are in your system. Also excited to see Superintendent Hyde on Saturday at the Red Ribbon Run, and hope that all of you will wear red ribbon, which we have brought for you during this National Red Ribbon Week. Thank you so much.
Finally, at this time, I invite Rebecca Rollerson, Regional Superintendent, who will come forward with some special recognition. And she's being joined by Ms. Pat Barnes.
Thank you. Good evening, board members, board chair, Mr. Hyde. Walking in now, I'm sure shocked and very nervous, is Mr. Roderick Gray. I'm going to ask Mr. Gray if he'll just come on down. Try not to cry. Anytime I call him just to say good morning, he just panics. We've had him hid away in a room. He has no idea why he's here. Come on up for a second. Hey. Yes, please do. So within the state of Florida, every district is asked to select a principal of the year and an assistant principal of the year. I have the distinct honor of sharing with you our nominee for Polk County, yes, for real, for Polk County Public Schools, Mr. Roger Gray. Mr. Gray is a dedicated and very passionate leader. He has a tremendous love for his students. It's evident every day. Anytime you're on his campus or you hear him speak of his students, he's always searching for the best ways to be an advocate for them. It's not always liked, some of his decisions, but it's always in the best interest of his students. He champions their good before everyone always. He's a kind leader. His faculty and his staff will tell you that while he leads with passion, he's very kind and compassionate in what he does with them, and he encourages them to be their very best all the time. He's a compassionate leader. He advocates for his parents within his community always. He's had some difficult times these last 3 years. When he first came into principalship at Laurel Elementary, they were at that time the lowest D in the district. He was brand new. He's a sponge. Anything that we ask, he's jumped in and he's done it. And this past year, they brought that grade up to 51%, which is a C, I'm going to say it, although the state has not yet converted that grade from an I, but we know that they have earned it. There are many passionate, dedicated, good individuals who serve in the role as principal within Polk County. However, it is my honor and my privilege to present to you our fine representative for Polk County Public Schools to the state for 2023, Mr. Roderick Gray. We also have his family here. So, Roger, we had to hide you in the hole because your whole family is here. Would you all please stand? His wife, the children, the in-laws, everybody.
So he doesn't actually get to keep anything?
He does.
You rolled it up for him.
Yeah, take it outside and take
That's
other
just
pictures
rude.
with the family. We wouldn't do him that way.
Give it to him and take it right away.
Would he like to say anything?
Yeah.
I know he's probably in shock, but
Come on, say a few words.
congratulations.
Yeah, we're so proud of you.
Thank you, Ms. Barnes, family for being here. All the regionals, school board, I really appreciate this. I think it takes courage for Ms. Barnes' part when you have a school that was the lowest and to take a chance on me to lead. I really wanted to come in every day to do my best to make her proud, to make Ms. Berrien proud, our superintendent. I want to do every day to make them proud of me, to say, hey, you made the right choice as making me principal. I leave late every day, my kids can tell you, because I don't want to go home without having that job not finished, letting my parents and my staff and my students know, hey, I'm here with you. I'm going to be in this fight with you, not just telling you what to do, but I'm going to be here right by your side. So I really do appreciate this. It is an honor. It's going to make me work just as hard so that you don't regret this either. So thank you. I really appreciate it.
Well, it's very hard coming behind that. So I have the privilege tonight of recognizing our Assistant Principal of the Year for Polk County Public Schools. So if Miss Sarah Miranda will come to the front while I read about her. Ms. Sarah Miranda is a visionary leader who is passionate about our public schools and is a firm advocate for every student's right to receive a high-quality education. She is truly dedicated to the success of our students, and she always has the students' best interest in mind. Sarah is a devoted leader who will go above and beyond for her school, staff, students, and community. She has a keen ability to maintain lasting relationships with various stakeholders, from students to our district leaders. She is well known in the community as an honest and passionate leader who truly cares for the well-being of Mulberry and its students. At the end of 2020 school year, Sarah designed a car line celebration for her students to be recognized for all their successes, even though their year had been cut short. This is the type of dedication to her students that Sarah consistently exhibits. Sarah has an amazing ability to analyze the needs of the school and the students and bring new initiatives to fruition with grace and ease. As an instructional leader, she has the unique ability to identify issues, then problem solve to find lasting solutions. She has created many systems within Mulberry Middle School to put the focus on student performance and staff development. Sarah has been a proponent of showcasing Mulberry Middle School student success through building programs such as our Student of the Month program and their AVID programs. Through building relationships with our staff, Sarah has become a dependable leader on campus. Teachers and staff members know that they can rely on Sarah for support and encouragement, or even trusted friend to confide in. Sarah will go above and beyond to ensure that all of her staff are recognized for their hard work no matter what. Mulberry Middle School often calls Sarah Lynn Big, as in go big or go home, because everything Sarah does, she does it in a big way. Sarah has a big heart and will fight to make sure students are successful. Sarah does big things for Mulberry Middle School students, and we are so happy that she is our Assistant Principal of the Year. Also did a big old band. It's upside down.
Also hiding in the back was your husband and your son, who are here also. We just wanted to have that element for you. You're welcome.
So everyone that knows me, I'm never at a loss for words. But I just am so appreciative for this opportunity to go and demonstrate that this was given for a reason, and that I'm here to give to the students and the staff and the population within Polk County to ensure that Polk County Public Schools knows that we are here for them, that I am dedicated to the students that we serve in this population. And I'm so thankful to have had such great leaders that have gotten me to this space. And I hope to be giving that leadership back to those that I serve for. And I just appreciate you all so much. Thank you to my family for being here. And thank you all, the board and all of the regional superintendents. Thank you all so much. Thank you. I feel like the flower girl at this point. I would also like to recognize her principal, Principal Cangelos, if you'll stand up. She's also a dynamic leader for Polk County, and some of her leadership is what has developed Sarah. So I think, Principal Cangelos, thank you. Also the largest hurricane shelter, so we want to give her that.
Madam Chair, members of the board, that concludes special recognition for this evening.
Thank you, Superintendent Hyde. I cannot wait to hear the backstories of how the two of them got here tonight and why they thought they were coming to a school board meeting. So I'm looking forward to that. Next on our agenda is public comment, and this is for items on the agenda to be voted upon. We do not have anyone signed up for the public comment on agenda items tonight, so we will move on to approval of our minutes. We have 7 sets of minutes to come before the board tonight, so I will hear a motion for approval on the first set of minutes from September 6, 2022 school board meeting.
Move approval.
Second.
Ms. Miller and Dr. Wilson, any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? And the motion carries. Next will be approval of the minutes for the September 6th, 2022 work session meeting.
So moved.
Second.
Ms. Fields and Dr. Allen, any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor, please signify by saying aye.
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 Any opposed? And the motion carries. The next set of minutes will be for September 20th, 2022 work session. I'll hear a motion.
Move approval.
Second.
Dr. Wilson and Ms. Miller, any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
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 Any opposed? And the motion carries. Next will be approval of the minutes for the September 20th, 2022 special work session meeting.
So move.
Second.
Dr. Allen and Ms. Cunningham, any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? And the motion carries. The next set of minutes will be for the September 27th, 2022 emergency board meeting. I'll hear a motion.
So moved.
Second.
Ms. Fields and Ms. Miller, any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
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 Any opposed? And the motion carries. Next will be the approval of minutes for the October 11th, 2022 work session.
Move approval.
Second.
Dr. Wilson and Ms. Miller, any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? And the motion carries. And then the last set of minutes will be for the October 11th, 2022 special work session meeting.
So moved.
Second.
Ms. Fields and Dr. Allen, any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? And the motion carries. We'll now move on to our consent agenda. I'll hear a motion for approval of the October 25th, 2022 consent agenda.
So moved.
Second.
Ms. Fields and Dr. Wilson. And Superintendent Hyde, do you have any new administrators to present this evening?
We do, Madam Chair, members of the board. We have both new administrators and administrative. Thank you.
Sorry, we have to vote first. I apologize.
Sorry.
All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? And the motion carries. I'm sorry, so many back-to-back, I got ahead of myself. Now the new administrators that are official, if you can present those.
Yes, ma'am. Madam Chair, members of the board, we do have new administrators and also several administrative moves to share this evening. Administrators, if your name is called, please feel free to come forward. Love for you to say a few words, be recognized, and give an opportunity, if you're joined by your loved ones, to please give them a shout out as well, because we all realize that in order to be successful in this role, it takes a great deal of support, and you're giving up a lot of your time and taking away time from your family and loved ones to serve others. This is a servant's leader's position, and so we're very appreciative of the time that you provide us with your family and loved ones as well. So the first administrator I'd like to recognize is Talia Williams. She's a teacher previously at Lake Ship Elementary School. She has been promoted to Assistant Director of Exceptional Student Education.
Thank you, Mr. Hyde. I just wanted to thank Mr. Hyde and the school board for giving me the opportunity to serve Polk County Schools and our students with disabilities and their families, so that every student that leaves Polk County Schools can serve as a productive member of our community, either in post-secondary education or in a career or in the military. So thank you so much. I really appreciate the opportunity. And I just wanted to thank my husband and my mother-in-law for being here tonight as well.
Please have, you want to wave? You want to, there we go, okay. We got to know who you are.
Thank you.
Congratulations. Mr. Ricky Wiggs is next. He was previously the assistant principal at our DJJ Education Center. He's now been promoted to Director of Specialized Student Services.
Do I talk now?
Yes, sir.
So nervous. Good evening. First, I want to just really thank God for this opportunity and this privilege. The last time I stood before you, I stated if it had not been for him, but certainly this is a miracle. But thankful for the opportunity to Mr. Hyde for his recognizing and accepting the recommendation to the board. Thank you so very much. It's not often that you find a place that you are comfortable with and a place that you don't have to worry about what's next because you found it. And I found that place working in DJJ with discipline and now student specialized services. So I am honored and grateful for the opportunity to be able to provide servanthood to the students of Polk County and being a Polk County product myself. Once a brave, always a brave. I'd like to recognize my wife for her patience with me and continuously molding me to become who I am. So thank you very much for this opportunity.
Board will recall Mrs. Wiggs is actually a principal at Roosevelt. So very pleased to have the two of them serving our students here in Polk County Public Schools. Congratulations, sir.
Thank you, sir.
And Mrs. Wiggs, I'll say this only because I know you. Good job. Done well. Next, I'd like to introduce Mr. Curtis Williams, previously Director for Student Support Services with the Florida Department of Education. He has now been newly hired as the Director for Employee and Labor Relations.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
Madam Chair, members of the board, Superintendent Hyde, I am extremely excited to join this community and basically work with Florida's finest for Florida's most precious, our students. The attitude is gratitude, and I'll leave you with, I understand the assignment. And I would like to thank all of my future teammates, colleagues, and those who are going to help us achieve great things together. I'm tabula rasa. I'm coming in as a blank slate to learn the ways of the land and the ways of the people. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Congratulations. Board members, now moving on to administrative moves. First, we have Janet Aguilar, teacher at Jewett School of the Arts, has been promoted to assistant principal at Citrus Ridge Middle. Is she with us this evening? Okay. William Dawson, principal on assignment to the deputy superintendent's office, is transferred to assistant principal on assignment district-wide. So he'll be filling in and providing supports to our schools as needed. Mario Jenkins, administrative assistant at Lake Alfred Polytech, has been promoted to assistant principal to level 2 at Tenor Rock High School. Jessica Short, principal at Palmetto Elementary, has transferred to an assistant principal position at Bethune Academy. And last but certainly not least, Maria Quiroa, assistant principal at Bellicita, has been promoted to acting principal at Palmetto Elementary. And she is with us this evening. Come on down.
Hello. Last time I was here, I was pregnant, and I thought I was pregnant. That's why I was crying. Today, I don't have that excuse. It is my highest honor to be here today in front of my peers, colleagues, and family. I want to first thank Superintendent Hyde and the board for allowing me the privilege of leading such a wonderful school. I am extremely proud and excited to be acting principal at Palmetto Elementary. I also want to thank my family for their support and for everyone who had a helping hand to climb this mountain. While the climb is not over yet, I wouldn't be here today without their support. And to those who worked tirelessly beside me, who helped me push ahead, I am proud to be here to represent my staff, students, and community. Thank you for your time, and I must go because the kids are waiting.
Good job.
And my husband. My husband, my mother-in-law, and my son, who's always with me at school. So thank you, everyone.
And Mr. McDougall, I just wanted to recognize that you're in a room. I met both of them at Bellicita last year, and I got to tell you, in a year and a half, I've never seen you nervous. That's interesting. You did a great job tonight. But Peter, great job mentoring. I had spoken to both of you and saw the opportunity. I saw your leadership. I saw your charisma, and recognized the need within our community, especially to serve our Hispanic students. So congratulations to you, Peter. Again, Mr. McDougall, excuse me. I would be remiss if I didn't recognize you for the coaching and mentoring you've provided her over the years. So thank you, sir, and I appreciate you being here to support her this evening as well. And I was informed that there is unfortunately someone who's initially left off the list, but we also have Miss Jessica Harvey, who has now been promoted to the assistant principal at Bellicita Elementary. Congratulations.
Thank you. Imagine my surprise tonight when I showed up and met Miss Q for the first time. And imagine Mr. McDougall's surprise whenever he saw us both next door right before all this took place. I just want to thank you, Mr. Hyde, for this opportunity. Board members, thank you. I can just truly say that in my first few days at Bellicita is a place of joy. And a teacher told me this on the first day, and I have experienced it each day on our campus. And I welcome you to come and experience some joy with us anytime at Bellicita. Mr. McDougall has created an environment that is happy. Students are smiling. And it's really exciting to hear your principal growl like a bear, because we're the home of the bears, right? And, I have to say that my bear growl is not there yet. I'm working on it. But I'm just very honored and humbled to have this opportunity. I certainly want to thank my Heavenly Father, and I give him all the glory for standing here tonight. My children, Madison and Jude, I just want to, say that standing here tonight, I hope is a core memory for you to never give up on your dreams, to always remember that if someone tells you you can't do something and you know you can, you do it. And lastly, I would like to thank all the leaders who have poured into my life. There's a long list, so you know who you are, particularly Miss Lori Cunningham, thank you. Ms. Tracy Collins, Rebecca Rollerson, and my list goes on. But most of all, thank you, Mr. McDougall, for seeing the potential in me and giving me this next step. And I know I will make you proud, and I know that I will make you guys proud. Thank you for the experience.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Good night.
Madam Chair, that concludes new administrator and administrative moves. Recognition.
Thank you, Superintendent Hyde. And I just want to again say thank you, especially to all of the families, because we know that being a family member of an educator is no small task. So thank you for all that you do every day as well. Next will be our action agenda. And the first item on our action agenda is Q1, increase of use of facility rates. And I'll hear a motion to approve the increased use of facility rates.
Did we?
We voted on the consent before. Yes. So, and I apologize. I'll hear it first in a second. I was getting the mics undone. The motion was
Motion from Dr. Wilson to increase the.
Dr. Wilson, and the second was from Ms. Miller. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye. Aye.
Any discussion? Any opposed? And the motion carries. All right, Q2 on the action agenda will be a motion to approve the Lake Gibson High School naming of the athletic field in honor of Michael Travis Gunder. And as I mentioned before the meeting, we'll do the motion, and once we vote, then we'll ask the family to come forward.
Move approval.
Second.
Dr. Wilson and Dr. Allen, any discussion? Ms. Miller, did you want to read?
I didn't push the button, but thank you for
Okay,
notifying.
Ms. Miller.
Principal Van is here as well.
Yes. I'm honored to read our letter of support for this naming. The letter reads, Superintendent Hyde, I have received a request from Ryan Van, the principal of Lake Gibson High School, in reference to naming the football field in memory of the Lake Gibson High School alumni football player Travis Gunder. Travis graduated Lake Gibson High School in 1987. He was a remarkable all-around athlete. He excelled in football with the Lakeland Lumberjacks, the Lake Gibson High School Braves, and was also on the wrestling team of Lake Gibson High School. Travis then went on to play football at the University of Central Florida. Unfortunately, his life was taken too soon by cancer at an early age. A sizable gift was made toward the Booster Club and the school, which will benefit all student athletes at Lake Gibson High School. It is my honor and pleasure to submit the recommendation to name the Lake Gibson High School football field in memory of Travis as the Travis Gunder Memorial Field at Virgil Ramage Stadium. Signed, Lisa Miller. And I just want to mention that Travis did leave lots of great memories. My husband, if the family doesn't know, recognized the name right away and was a high school peer of Travis, and we're so excited to honor him tonight.
Thank you, Ms. Miller. Any other discussion from the board? Seeing none, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? And the motion carries. And I'd like to invite Mr. Van and the family down to say a few words if you would like.
I'm so glad I don't have to read all that now. I thought I had to read all that. Thank you guys, Travis, Madam Chairs, Board, Superintendent Hyde. I just found out, if you guys know this or not, I just found out that I wasn't principal of the year. So I'm a little shocked.
Sorry.
Congratulations to Mr. Gray, Ms. Miranda. I thought that's why they invited me, but this is way better. It's an honor to be here tonight in front of you to present the renaming of our field. We're going to officially put this into place Friday night as we play George Jenkins. So if anybody can come out, please come out and watch this night happen. We did have a small ceremony in the springtime because a lot of the Gunder family was in town, but officially Friday night will mark the new naming of the stadium, and it's my honor to introduce Mr. Gunder, Travis's father.
Thank you, School Board. I didn't really come prepared to speak, but I just want to say thank you very much for this incredible honor. Two of my heroes in life, my biggest heroes, are Tom Atwell and my son, Travis. And now Tom Atwell is at Kathleen High School, and my son's name is at Lake Gibson High School. So it's just an incredible honor. I can't speak to how humble I am for this happening. So thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. And I believe, did you want to get a picture in the back? I don't want to let him run too far because I know you'll stalk him down.
Ryan
Our
Bain is
athletic director, Mr. Haynes, joined me tonight. And as Mr. Wiggs said earlier, once a Brave, always a Brave.
Thank you guys again for being here tonight. All right, and next on the agenda will be Q3, which is reproductive health education, grades 4 through high school. And I will hear a motion.
So moved.
Second.
Ms. Fields and Dr. Allen. Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? And the motion carries. Next on the agenda will be Q4, which is the Power School Educational Impact Professional Learning in the area of reading. And
Move approval.
Attorney Bridges, do we need to do these as two separate motions, or is it the 1 and 2 separate motions? Okay, so the first motion will be to approve the superintendent's signing of additional Power School contracts. 1, video courses for reading endorsement renewal.
Move approval.
Second.
Dr. Wilson and Ms. Miller. Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
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 Any opposed? And the motion carries. And then the second part is motion to approve the superintendent signing of additional Power School contracts 2, reading instructional leadership, asynchronous courses for instructional staff, and school-based leaders.
Move approval.
Second.
Ms. Fields and Dr. Wilson, any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? And the motion carries. Next will be Q5, which is the Magnet School Assistant Program grant with positions in the total of $999,698. And the motion will be to accept the 2022 84.165A Magnet School Assistant Program grant.
Move approval.
Second.
Ms. Cunningham and Ms. Fields, any discussion? And I just want to quickly highlight, we had some great discussion about this during work session, but we were the second highest in the state following either Miami-Dade or Broward. But given their student size, we by far had the highest dollar per student in those areas. So we're very excited about that and very proud of our team for the application they submitted. All right, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
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 Any opposed? And the motion carries. And last on our action agenda will be the Frostproof Middle High School naming of the Fine Arts Auditorium in honor of Dr. David Lewis. And I will hear a motion.
So moved.
Second.
Ms. Miller and Dr. Allen and Mr. Wilson, Dr. Wilson.
Thank you, Madam Chair. It is my pleasure and privilege and honor to bring forth the recommendation to name the Frostproof Middle Senior Fine Arts Auditorium after Dr. David Lewis. And this is the request I got from the Frostproof Middle Senior High School SAC Committee. On behalf of the Frostproof Middle Senior High School SAC Committee and community, I am requesting permission to name our Fine Arts Auditorium after Dr. David F. Lewis. Dr. Lewis spent most of his educational career in the Polk County School District. Dr. Lewis started his career in the Polk County school system in 1979 as the band director at Fort Meade Middle Senior High School. He served in that role for 8 years. In 1987, he was named as the assistant principal of curriculum at Fort Meade and served in that role for 5 years. In 1992, he became the assistant principal of curriculum at Frostproof Middle Senior. And then in 1995, he was named the principal of Frostproof Middle Senior High School. He was the principal there for 10 years and then moved to serve the district as a senior director of high schools for 5 years, and then associate superintendent for teaching and learning for 3 years. Since 2013 and until the present, Dr. Lewis has served as the superintendent of the Muskogee County School District in Columbus, Georgia. His loyalty to the Frostproof Middle Senior High School Bulldog family is unwavering. Dr. Lewis was also involved in many school activities, which included the FFA chapter, Polk County Youth Fair, graduations, dances, proms, field trips, academic fairs, fine arts activities, band activities, and athletic events. Dr. Lewis was the initiating force for our school to have an auditorium built in 2004, and it is our request that we name this building after him. And again, it's my privilege and honor to bring forward this recommendation. I mean, clearly, Dr. Lewis has been an incredible influence and contributed extensively to the Fort Meade Frostproof and to the Polk County School District. And again, I wholeheartedly recommend this naming of the Fine Arts Auditorium at Frostproof Senior Middle School. Thank you, Madam Chair.
And thank you, Dr. Wilson. Any other? Mr. Bridges.
Thank you, ma'am. When I came here in 1998, David Lewis was one of the first people that I met. And he was courteous, he was welcoming, he was warm, he was everything that you could ever look to in a gentleman. He is as fine an administrator as this district has ever turned out. I've kept in touch with him since he went to Columbus, and my impression from my friends in Columbus is that they love him just as much as we did. And I hold David Lewis out as an example for all of us, not only as an educator, but as a human being. He is one of the decentest, finest men that I've ever met. And I'll shut up.
Thank you, Mr. Bridges. Ms. Fields?
I just want to ditto what Mr. Bridges just said. I had a chance to work with Mr. Lewis when he was a deputy superintendent here. He did an amazing job, and as Wes said, very warm and very kind and very knowledgeable in his position as deputy superintendent. And as Wes said, also I have contacts in Columbus, Georgia, and everyone speaks very highly of him. So I think it's nice that we're able to honor him beyond his years here in Polk County Public Schools. So, Dr. Lewis, if you're watching live, congratulations to you, and we hope that you and your wife are doing well, and we're very proud of what you've been able to accomplish beyond Polk County Public Schools. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Fields. And seeing no further discussion, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? And the motion carries. And I believe Mr. Wyndham is here to say a few words.
Board members, I have a letter from Dr. Lewis that he sent to me today. I'd like to read this. It says, I regret that I am not able to attend this evening's meeting in person and would surely do so were it not for a previously scheduled community meeting that I am hosting. It actually happens to do with rezoning in his community, so that's what he's working on. However, I appreciate Principal Kyle Wyndham speaking on my behalf. I want to convey my deepest thanks and sincere gratitude to Frostproof Middle Senior High School, its School Advisory Council, Principal Kyle Wyndham, the Frostproof community at large, and the Polk County School Board for the honor of having the school's Fine Arts Auditorium named for me. It is truly one of the greatest professional honors one could ever have bestowed upon them. The fact that the recommended building is the Fine Arts Auditorium, an area in which I began my career and remains one of passion for me, makes it all the more special. I have often said that my tenure in Frostproof was the most rewarding and meaningful of my career, and I will always remember those years fondly. Again, thanks to all who contributed to this effort, and know that I am humbled, honored, and forever grateful. Go Dogs, Dr. David Lewis. And for Dr. Lewis, he is watching Ms. Fields because his community meeting doesn't start till 6:30. So he is paying attention to this. And as Mr. Van said earlier, Mr. Wiggs, but in Frostproof, I know we're on the southeast part of the county, but once a Bulldog, always a Bulldog. So Dr. Lewis is always a Bulldog and a fine gentleman. And as Mr. Bridges said, he is one of my mentors, and I enjoyed working with him for the 7 years that I had with him. So, thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Wyndham. And congratulations again, Dr. Lewis, and I hope that your rezoning meeting goes well. We will be praying for you this evening. Next on the agenda, we will have our public hearing. So I will now close the school board meeting, open the public hearing, and we will have an opportunity for the public to comment on any public hearing items. However, we have no cards that have been submitted on any of our public hearing topics. So first, I will seek a motion to approve the updated policy number 2520, selection and adoption of instructional materials. Dr. Wilson and Dr. Allen. Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? And the motion carries. Next, I will seek a motion to approve the new policy number 2521, Instructional Materials Program.
So moved.
Second?
Dr. Allen and Ms. Miller. Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
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 Any opposed? And the motion carries. Next, I will seek a motion to approve new policy number 2522, challenges to adoption or use of instructional library or reading list materials.
Move to approve.
Second?
Ms. Miller and Dr. Wilson. Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? And the motion carries. Next, I will seek a motion to approve deleting current policy number 5630.01, seclusion and restraint of students with disabilities.
So, I'm sorry. I move to approve.
Second.
Ms. Miller and Dr. Allen, any discussion? Ms. Miller?
I just want to say that Polk County's made a lot of improvements. If you don't understand that last policy about restraint and seclusion, it's been a long time coming, several legislative sessions to make those improvements. Restraining students is something we want to avoid. It's called, we want to practice good de-escalation and behavior management, and I think we're doing that. We're definitely making a monetary investment in to do that. Seclusion rooms are very few in this county. They will no longer be used for seclusion. They'll be more sensory-based. The entire state of Georgia shut down seclusion a while back. We are now catching up with them. If you don't know what those things are, I suggest you Googling them because there's a lot to work to do with students with disabilities in education, and I appreciate the work done on this to move our district and our state forward. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Miller. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? And the motion carries. And last but not least, I will seek a motion to approve the replacement policy number 5630.01, seclusion and restraint of students with disabilities.
So moved.
Second.
Ms. Fields and Ms. Miller, any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
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 Any opposed? And the motion carries. And we will now close the public hearing and reopen the school board meeting. Next on our agenda is the superintendent's report. Superintendent Hyde.
Madam Chair, members of the board.
Sorry.
Madam Chair, members of the board, community and staff. The next work session and board meeting will be held on November 15th, 2022. The work session will begin at 12:30 p.m. and the board meeting will begin at 5 p.m. Both meetings will be held at the district office located at 1915 South Floral Avenue in Bartow, Florida.
Thank you, Superintendent Hyde. Next, we will have our attorney's report. Mr. Bridges.
Madam Chair, 2 items. First, request authority to advertise public hearings on December 13th and January 24th of 23 for ABC 21-C Bellicita and the McLaughlin Board adoption.
And I will hear a motion to advertise the public hearing on December 13th, 2022 and January 24th, 2023 for ABC 21-C Bellicita McLaughlin Board adoption. Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? And the motion carries.
Second item, request approval of settlement of claim of David A. Gautney and Denise J. Williams as co-personal representatives in the estate of Teresa Joy Gautney, deceased, versus Victory Ridge Academy, Inc., and Polk County School Board defendants.
And I will hear a motion to request approval for the settlement.
Move approval.
Ms. Cunningham and Ms. Fields, any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? And the motion carries.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, Mr. Bridges. Any auditors report for today? Thank you, Ms. Matthews. And we will next go to board member reports. So we will start with Dr. Allen.
Madam Chair, no comment tonight.
Man, that was quick. All right, next we'll have Ms. Cunningham.
Thank you, Madam Chair. A couple of things. First of all, I just want to once again commend Superintendent Hyde for receiving the Superintendent of the Year Award from the Florida Art Education Association that recognizes one individual each year, and we were so blessed that our staff nominated him, and it was a wonderful awards breakfast that we had, and congratulations once again, sir. So well deserved. Additionally, I'd like to recognize Rebecca Shemp with Lewis Anna Woodbury Elementary for receiving the award winner for New Professional Award from the Florida Association, Florida Art Education Association. And she was very excited to be receiving that. And she's a lovely young art teacher. And I know she's going to do great things with her students at her school. So once again, Ms. Shemp, best wishes and congratulations again on that wonderful award. Additionally, I'd like to report about Dundee Elementary Academy's IB Primary Years Program. I don't know if most of you know, but every 5 years, if you're in the IB program, you have to get reauthorized. And so I was honored to participate in DEA's International Baccalaureate Primary Years Program reauthorization process, September 20th through the 23rd. 2 international baccalaureate evaluators who are living in Portugal and Turkey spent each day visiting classrooms and interviewing staff, students, parents, and community partners about the IB Primary Years Program at Dundee Elementary Academy. I was honored to participate in the community roundtable interviews. Dr. Lana Headley and her staff showed the evaluators the hard work and dedication that has been contributed to the program over the past 5 years. At the conclusion of the visit, the school was praised for the growth they have made and the success of the IB program. Areas of strength included communication and involvement of all stakeholders, positive school culture, celebration of diversity, the collaboration and ongoing support of leadership towards student learning and putting students first, as well as long-term sustainability of the program, which I think is the most important piece when we have a program, is it's continuing to be sustained through the years. During the next upcoming 5 years, Dundee Elementary Academy will grow even further, focusing on vertical and horizontal articulation of the primary years program, curriculum, and implementation of the approaches to learning using Toddle, which was recently approved by our technology department for collaborative planning. I would like to thank Superintendent Hyde for joining me at the grand finale presentation, We surprised the staff. They had no idea that he was able to come, and it was absolutely so well received. And when he addressed the staff, he commented, and I quote, "The students are not waiting at Dundee Elementary Academy." And we got a huge roar in the crowd with all the staff when you said that. So thanks so much for being there to support them in this huge endeavor. Congratulations once again to Principal Lana Headley and her amazing team for their time, dedication, and talents in becoming reauthorized for this prestigious international program. Kudos to everyone involved. Thank you, Madam Chair. That concludes my report.
Thank you, Ms. Cunningham. And next we will go to Ms. Fields.
Thank you. I just have a couple of items. Superintendent Hyde and I were able to attend the 20th year anniversary at Dr. Annie Roberts the 1st of October. It was a great event, and the kids did an amazing job presenting, and the staff was just excited about the opportunity to celebrate 20 years of providing an amazing school and learning for the students and their families in that community. So I want to give them a shout out and thank them for their hard work. And also, I wanted to give a shout out to a young lady who is a senior at Kathleen High School. She is the first female kicker for the football team. Her name is Jackie Payton, and she is excited about being their kicker, and she's doing a great job there. And I think one of her goals is one day to maybe become part of the NFL football team, league rather. So the sky's the limit, and it's something that is not traditional. That's a non-traditional area. So we want to commend her for her boldness, and we hope that she will continue to do well with whatever she pursues in her future years. And that ends my report.
Thank you, Ms. Fields. And Mr. Wilson?
Thank you, Madam Chair. No report.
Thank you, Mr. Wilson. And Ms. Miller?
Thank you. I just have a couple of things. First of all, I was so excited I was there for Dr. Ernie Roberts in the afternoon with staff. If you don't know, that was the school that I spent my years in teaching. And it was so fun all the memories flooding back of just the faces that you would see coming through the door. I saw people I had not seen since 2004. So it was a great opportunity. I encourage other schools to do those, bringing people back under the same roof. It meant a lot to see the faces of people that we spent time with and helping students. And all the principals were back. It was great to see everyone together. I really wish that Dr. Nariah Roberts could have been there. He would come to our graduations in 5th grade, and I know he was so proud of that legacy. I'm sad that he wasn't with us for that event. We had two. I'm sorry? Was his wife there? I don't know that she was there when I was there. The two events that I'd like to feature is the Polk Education Foundation. I don't know if it's record setting. I believe that under the Stepping Out for Students, they raised over $100,000 for kids that night. It was an amazing opportunity to come out and support your community. I really appreciate our staff being there. I won't mention them, some of them are really good on the dance floor. I was surprised. Some of our HR staff was out there showing them what they had. We need dancers for next year, so if you're interested in help raising money, we'd love to hear from you. That's always a great event that turns out the crowds. The other event to help support students was benefiting Polk County's Youth Fair, the Taste of Agriculture. That was a fun night there along with staff and Superintendent Hyde. My husband likes a good live auction, so I'd appreciate if you don't invite him to all of them. It's hard for him to put the paddle down, but I just kept saying it's for kids. So we had a good time that evening and was able to raise a lot of money for the Polk County Youth Fair and our agricultural students. So that was exciting. I don't want to leave this evening without recognizing a colleague, Ms. Fortney. This would have been her last meeting. She had someone in her family with an emergency surgery. I'm sorry?
Somewhere in November.
Oh, I'm hoping she can return, but I want to say, if she's not able to, that the dedication of her is something I've never seen. I didn't meet her until I was on the campaign trail with her. And then I learned that everybody in Polk County knew who she was. And I appreciate the work she's done here, and I hope that surgery went well for her family member. And that's all. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Miller. And Dr. Wilson?
Thank you, Madam Chair. Actually, I do have something I'd like to share. My daughter will probably disown me for telling you this, but I'm very proud of her. My wife and I are very proud of her. She was in the inaugural IB class at Haines City. From there, she went to the University of Florida, where she earned her PhD in political science. She earned a Fulbright scholarship to conduct research in Europe. After that, she served as a researcher at the University of Warsaw in Poland. And currently and recently, she was hired by the American University, one of the top political science institutions in the country, or actually in the world, as a professor and researcher. And of course, my wife and I are very proud of her, but that's a product of our school system and our school district. She began the first grade here in Polk County and completed her education here. So I think it's a testament to the quality of education that we provide in this school district, and I think we all could be proud of that. So thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you, Dr. Wilson. It's all right to be a proud dad. That's very exciting. All right, and just a couple comments from myself. So I want to give a huge kudos to Superintendent Hyde and the turnaround department. They got to go before the State Board of Education last Thursday. And while other school districts got beat up a little bit, they spoke Superintendent Hyde's praises before he went up to speak, and there were no comments and no questions. So we are good to go with our turnaround plans, which is exciting. And that will conclude my report. And next we will go on to our public comments on non-agenda items. So again, we'll have, this would have been the third opportunity for public comment this evening. Again, no one had registered for the first two. But to register to speak, community members must have filled out a speaker card in the lobby prior to the meeting. All speakers will be given 3 minutes. The clock will give you a warning sound when you have 1 minute left and when you have 30 seconds left. If you can please give your name for the record, and all comments should be directed to myself as the board chair. As a reminder, this is an opportunity for public comments on non-agenda items. So there will be no immediate action taken on items presented during this public comment portion of the meeting. If follow-up board action is required, then the matter may be placed on an agenda at a subsequent meeting in accordance with school board policy. And I will announce who's next and who's on deck so that you'll know if you're coming. So first will be Peter Johnson, and on deck will be Pam Luce. And I know we're a little bit different setup, so the clock is right over here, just so you
Well, this is my
know.
first go around, so I'm used to a classroom, so we're going to go here. Good evening, board members. I'm here to talk about the hospital zoning or the hospital proposed zoning next to Valley View High School or Valley View Elementary School. I understand that the school board's been presented with and asked to take a side in this matter, and I'm here to talk about that. So growing up, many of us probably dreamed of driving a dump truck, a fire truck, an ambulance, or even flying a helicopter. And we thought about how cool and neat that would be. Now, those of you who have children or grandchildren of elementary age, I want you to take a moment and think about the times you spent with them and you spend with them and how easily they're distracted. A dog runs by. A squirrel runs up a tree. And all of a sudden you're like, wait a minute, come on back. We're working on this. Now, put yourself in this classroom. We've got wonderful teachers at Valley View. I don't teach there. My daughter did. My daughter went there. They've got 15 to 20 young people, anywhere from 5 and 6 years old to 11 and 12 years old. Think about the opportunities that those teachers are tasked with to teach those young people. Yet, if this zoning goes through, for the next 18 to 24 months, those children are going to be constantly distracted by bulldozers, cranes, big heavy trucks moving in and out of that area. And let's forget about once they're gone. This is going to be a lifelong impact with ambulances, fire trucks, police cars, sirens going off, helicopters coming in. That's something that's going to be a constant distraction to them. These are children that are in their developmental ages, and they have to do the best they can. We know they all have state exams. We have district assessments, all those things on their plate. Yet we're running the risk of these young people being constantly distracted for the next years, not just months, but years. And so, looking at your sign here, it says students first. Our motto for the public schools says to provide a high quality education for all of these students. And I just beg you and urge you, please keep that in mind and take the time to vote, write a letter, be against this proposal, because we're looking at the future of our young people in this county. You say it's student first, and our mission is to give them the highest possible education. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Johnson. Next is Ms. Luce, and on deck is going to be Laura Coyle.
Madam Chair, may I hand these documents to Ms. Yvette?
If you can hand them to Ms. Yvette, that would be great. Thank you.
Thank you, and I want to tell you, I really don't take any pleasure in being here tonight to speak on this matter. But after hearing your discussion today at the work session, I felt it was time to say something, because this affects the decisions you make for Polk County and its children. Ms. Wyatt, I appreciate that you noticed that the enrollment projections were low. Let me tell you why. Last year, the person in charge of concurrency quit in our office. I cannot begin to tell you what a mess it was. I had to take it over until someone new could be hired. Developers were being given a pass on all developments, whether they deserved them or not. No one was being required to mitigate for being over capacity. I went to Ms. Usher about what I had found, and she told me that she had told the former employee to send those letters because the board did not want to do mitigation. The agreements, that is. I asked her when that happened because the board is under an interlocal agreement, which you will receive, with all municipalities, and it was still active. If it were to be changed, it would require an agreement between the board and the municipalities to change that agreement. She told me again that the board did not want to mitigate. That was that. I then took all of the data to Mr. Hyde. There's not enough time in 3 minutes to tell you everything, but you deserve to know that you have not been given the data that you need to make the decisions that you need to make. The consultant who calculates the enrollment does not receive the data she needs for the projections from the development, because unless the concurrency management system we had was fixed, no one knows what the numbers really are. Please look through the agreement and refresh yourself as to the responsibilities that the school, for school concurrency from the school board. I'm saying this for your protection, because at some point, this is not going to be good news.
Thank you, Ms. Luce. Ms. Coyle, and then on deck will be Julie Butler.
Good evening. My name is Laura Coyle, and I live between Valley View Elementary and George Jenkins High School in Lakeland. I am opposed to the zoning change next to Valley View for the purpose of building a hospital there. I am here today to ask that the school board take a stance and state their opposition to a zoning change on this land. Several people have indicated that we shouldn't be worried because it's only going to be a, quote, small hospital, and it won't affect traffic safety or the children. As of the October 5th zoning hearing, here's what we now know. We have heard from HCA Healthcare themselves, and they stated they would start with 60 beds, but the site plan they showed us was already based on 120 beds. And that land has the ability, per our own county report, to allow a hospital up to almost 1 million square feet, which that equates to about 541 patient beds. That'd be even larger than Winter Haven Hospital. Even if they initially build the smaller version of what they say, that size would be similar to Bartow Hospital moving in next door to Valley View. How can these two facilities coexist without it being a detriment to the students and teachers? How is a helicopter pad and an emergency room at all compatible with 2 schools right next door? No matter how much HCA says they will do, they cannot control factors such as frequent security lockdowns. A fence and a security guard are not adequate measures to ensure our students' and faculty's safety. Because of the topography of the land, anyone from the hospital will be able to look onto both campuses, whether it be from the parking lot or through hospital windows. As they mentioned, it will initially be 3 to 4 stories tall. There is no buffer that's going to be able to protect the privacy of our campuses at that point. Schools are termed institutional on paper, and so are hospitals, which is why some think it is okay to put these 2 facilities next to each other. But simple common sense tells us that a 24-hour-a-day facility with inherent safety concerns is not, in real time, compatible with a school. In this case, the safety factors should far outweigh all other zoning considerations. Once allowed to build, it's now legally quite easy for hospitals to expand their facilities, so you can be guaranteed that they will expand. HCA Poinciana has now expanded 4 times in less than 10 years. You have to look long term. Just because something is difficult or challenging doesn't mean we shouldn't stand up for what is right. We all need to speak out. Our children's education and welfare depends upon the citizens, the county officials, and the school board protecting them. I thank those of you in the audience who support us, and I thank the school board for its time and consideration.
Thank you, Ms. Coyle. Next will be Ms. Butler, and on deck is Paige Moore.
Hi, my name is Julie Butler. My son attends Valley View Elementary. Back in August, Laura Coyle and I came to a meeting just like this to make you aware of the growing community concern about the rezoning of the property next to Valley View for a hospital, citing safety issues, dangerous traffic conditions, and the detriment to our kids' learning environment. Since then, many have sent emails. Over 1,000 people, mostly parents, have signed the petition. And at the last hearing I watched, as parent after parent got up to speak out against the rezoning, concern for our students in school. And yet, the silence from our school board is deafening. As adults, we know our actions have consequences, but sometimes we forget our inaction has consequences as well. In this case, it is the safety and well-being of our children that is at risk. It only takes one accident in Carline, one patient rushing to the hospital who doesn't see that student walker, or one unstable patient or employee to create a tragedy that cannot be undone. I guarantee no one will care how many programs HCA has donated towards when they are grieving the loss of a teacher, parent, or child. I'm not trying to be dramatic, I'm just stating the facts. Our car line is dangerous enough without the extra increase in traffic. Polk County officials recently have been seeking federal grant money due to the fact that in 2021, Polk County was rated in the top 10 most dangerous areas in the country for pedestrian fatalities. And not long ago, a woman was arrested at an HCA hospital in Bradenton with a gun and over 50 rounds of ammunition. According to the articles published by PBS, Johns Hopkins, and the FBI, violence is 4 times more likely in healthcare, with the majority of hospital shootings in the study found to occur in the ER and hospital parking lots, which will be directly adjacent to Valley View. I'm not going to stand here and cite zoning codes to you. I've already done that. You, as our elected school board representatives, have the right to take action against this rezoning and declare its incompatibility with our school, which in turn gives the county the opportunity to protect our school. Your actions matter, but right now your inaction is speaking volumes. By choosing not to speak up, you make way for this rezoning to pass and create opportunity for tragedy to occur. I know we have been persistent in this matter, but we simply care deeply about the well-being of our schools, as I know you do as well. You wouldn't be sitting in these seats if you didn't. I urge you to support the parents and teachers that are crying out to you for help to fight this rezoning. You still have time to make a difference. Thank you.
Thank you. Paige Moore, and on deck is John Perez.
Hi, my name is Paige Moore, and I live between George Jenkins High School and Valley View Elementary. Right now, our local government's faced with a choice. They can keep our local schools strong, safe, and secure, or they can take it away from us and completely change the dynamics and the character of our community. They can ignore their own policies or the will of thousands in the community and their oaths of office in favor of granting privilege to one private investor-owned corporation that has a fiduciary responsibility to their stockholders to produce a profit. Not against profit, not against income and investment, that's far from there. But I am against allowing a company to bully, lie, coerce, bribe their way into an area that they have no right to develop into a hospital. I'm speaking of the property in the planned hospital that they want to develop, and it is literally 20 feet from the doorstep of Valley View Elementary, and it's on the same block as George Jenkins High School. I can guarantee you that if the situation were reversed and you were looking to build a new school somewhere, that you would consider, you'd give considerable attention to accessibility, the impact of traffic to the area, the character of the neighborhood, whether it was close to known nuisances like odors, sounds, lights, helicopters, and heavy emergency vehicle traffic, and probably most important, the safety and security and known threats in the immediate area. So, I mean, like as stated on your website, your first priority is to the safety of the children that you're charged with educating. So this hospital is in no way compatible or consistent with the area. The county planners know this, or they wouldn't have needed to hide the inconsistencies in their report. HCA knows it because they have sent their staff to meet with local government and make promises and agreements that attempt to make up for shortcomings and try to influence policy decisions. And the parents and teachers in the members of the community know it as well. And now we have eyes to see and we have ears to hear. And we recognize that this is a security threat to the most vulnerable population. And now you guys know it as well. And I think it's an amazing opportunity that we can present to you an issue that should be a slam dunk. Okay? And it allows us to see just how invested you are in your oath of office.
Thank you. Next will be John Perez, and on deck is Sophia Perricone.
Good evening, and thank you for this opportunity. My name is John Perez, resident from Poinciana. I've lived in Poinciana for 11 years now. Moved here from New York, where I retired after 30 years in law enforcement. I'm also the president of a Hispanic American group in Poinciana, where we advocate for the community. And the reason that I'm here is because we would like to advocate for new schools in Poinciana. Now, I understand there's a proposal on hold that's floating around out there somewhere. Maybe it'll come up at the next school board meeting to buy some property on Lake Hachanija Road. We're hoping that when that does come up, that proposal or any other proposal for that area, that you will vote yes. Now, let me tell you something about Poinciana. I'm sure you know already. Poinciana has a population of 45,000. Most of the residents Hispanic, about 55% is what I found out today, with thousands of homes. And we're ready for new schools there. We would like a school in Poinciana. I've heard people have recommended that you put a Poinciana school in Dundee, Haines City, or Davenport. Now, does that make any sense? Would it make any sense for Dundee, Haines City, or Davenport to put a school for their students in Poinciana? It doesn't make sense. We need it in Poinciana and not somewhere else. Now, some issues that came up, because I wasn't here for the last board meeting, but I saw the recording. A little sad what some people said. But one of the things they said, that Poinciana is full of gangs. There's no gangs. There's no gang problem in Poinciana. Okay, I talked to the deputies. They're my friends. I say there's no gang problem. It's like saying, and let me date myself, it's like saying that the Little Rascals were a vicious and out-of-control gang in the community. There's kids running around that think they're gangs. They're not gangs, and I hear that from the deputies. There's no such thing as a gang problem in Point Siena. The other thing, they say that we don't have any emergency services. Well, right now, there is a firehouse in Point Siena where my group, we advocated for that years ago, and now we have a firehouse. The other thing they said is that there's not enough law enforcement in Point Siena. There's no substation, there's nothing. Well, that's the only thing that they got right. However, 2 weeks ago, I participated in the groundbreaking, and they're going to open up a Polk County Sheriff's substation right next to the firehouse. So we are ready for more schools, and we would like and pray that you put the schools in Point Siena, not outside of Point Siena, like Davenport, Haines City, or Dundee. Thank you.
Thank you. Sophia Perricone, and then on deck is going to be Philip Perricone.
Earlier this year, Earlier this year, I reported a harassment claim. It had gone from verbal injustice to physical. It started progressing, and even though I had tried all the normal tactics, such as telling him I wanted to stop and even flat out ignoring him, they didn't work. I reported this to the principal of my school, and he said it couldn't have ever happened since we were never even sitting next to each other. This made me sound like an absolute liar, and the thing I was lying about would have serious consequences if I was. Even my own dad didn't believe me at first. This still hurts me because I think I'm a very honest person. Anyway, they found the footage that backed up my story and all looked good, until they told me that the touches from the boy was an accidental graze. They were basically saying that what I said wasn't valid. Regardless if that was true or not, I repeatedly mentioned to multiple people that I did not want that happening and felt uncomfortable, and nothing changed. I'm not going to get into details as I have 3 minutes, but the reason that I'm bringing this up is because I wasn't believed about what I said, and many girls face way worse things every day and aren't believed. Is this the example you want to set? That children should just sit there and let people harass and abuse them? And do you think that do you want to make abusers think that they can get away with anything they want? This type of mentality fosters abusive relationships and domestic violence. Almost every day there are at least 20,000 phone calls reporting domestic violence. We don't want to add to that number. Even issues not as big as harassment are forgotten every day. Many people suffer bullying and are afraid to speak up. In conclusion, if America's future has any chance at all, we need to allow people to feel safe enough to speak up against these injustices. As Malala Yousafzai says, I raise up my voice not so that I can shout, but so that those without a voice can be heard. Thank you.
Next will be Philip Perricone, and on deck is Lila Perricone.
Good evening. I'd like to thank you for your proclamation earlier about bullying and power imbalances. I can't think of a bigger power imbalance than that of a 6th grade girl and the board that sits before me. And I'm incredibly proud of her for standing up to the board that is currently bullying her. This district decided to dismiss her reports despite her saying many times that she's told this boy on many occasions to leave her alone. No does not mean no to PCPS. PCPS employees responded to our report by refusing to issue us the legally required Hope Scholarship notification form, illegally disclosing educational information about my other daughter to the perpetrator's mother, falsifying official records, and providing law enforcement with false information about me in an attempt to have me arrested. These district emails document all of this and show conspiracy amongst PCPS employees to violate our civil rights. Fred Hyde's emails show that he wants to sweep this under the rug, which is the same tactic he used with tragic results in Chicago. On the same day that Polk County Sheriff showed up to my home, I learned that Principal Steven Shalosky is involved in the homemade pornography industry. Even though this school board is aware of all the illegal actions I've detailed tonight, the pornography is the only thing it referred for investigation. By ignoring violations of law, this board is signaling that this district does not value civil rights or the rule of law. The PCPS board, I'm sorry, I'm rereading the same paragraph. Public officials sending armed men to the homes of citizens who demand accountability is the hallmark of dictatorships, not democracies. Thank you.
Next will be Lila Perricone, and on deck is Aquario Hernandez.
Hello, my name is Leela Perricone. I am the stepmother of Sophia Perricone. My two other daughters are also in the audience. Who determines if an individual feels harassed, bullied, or intimidated? The person subjected to the harassment or institutions like the Polk County Public Schools? Logic dictates that the answer should be the individual who is subjected to the harassment, not the institution. I have trusted Polk County Public Schools to provide a safe place for education for my three daughters. However, since late August, my children have not received a safe, responsible education within this district. Each year, teachers are required to teach lessons on bullying prevention and social emotional learning. In 5th grade, as my stepdaughter went through puberty, she became the target of numerous accidental touches from boys to her chest and butt. We stressed to her the importance of following the district bullying prevention strategies when these inappropriate actions occurred, all to no avail. So my stepdaughter continued to be touched accidentally. She voiced her concerns to teachers, but continued to be subjected to harassment in 5th grade. This is true of my other two daughters. On a weekly basis, my daughters are frustrated because they are constantly being touched by other students. They tell a teacher or an adult, and yet it continues to happen. It is difficult to send our daughters to school and trust that PCPS keeps them safe. Her 6th grade year began when she clearly enunciated to a boy she was not interested in his advances, nor did she appreciate the catcalling the boy's friends did on his behalf. She expressed anxiety of the bus rides to us, her friends, and to her licensed mental health counselor. She tried to be the last one on the bus, so to position herself away from the boy and his friends. She confided in her friend that she hated when the bus went over bumps or railroads because it would elicit stares and comments from the boys and his friends as it made her chest bounce. Our child would come home to often report lewd comments and facial expressions akin to catcalls from this boy. A clear pattern of verbal harassment was established before physical harassment. And then the physical harassment began. 2 separate occasions to Union Academy. We were told that our child was not being harassed and the touches were accidental in nature. I ask you again, who determines when an individual feels harassed? The individual or an institution? If your answer is the institution, then you are fostering rape culture by failing to protect others. As my husband has chronicled, we have been met with hostility. We are not being treated as partners in our daughter's education. I stand here tonight to warn other parents in this district to fight for the safety and the hearts and the minds of your children, and do not be...
Thank you. Octavio Hernandez, and on deck is Vanilla Nandi. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much for your time. So the last time I was here, I was talking to you guys about trying to, create a culture of let's do something. The sad thing is you guys can't do everything. And as you can see, Polk County is a very big county, so it's hard to get everything done. So I came up with an idea of trying to create a program. I've been supported a lot. Let me just say thanks to these two people because they have helped me create this program from the beginning. They've been supportive. You guys can stand up for 1 second. Get up, Ramirez. It's Catherine Ramirez. These are my students. Can you guys get up too, please? Nikki's with Family for Better Public Schools. These people have supported me from the beginning, and they believe my idea is basically I wanted to get the community involved, but not just parents, not just students, teachers, everybody, because we're all part of this community. And I wanted to start a program where let's not just come up with complaints, let's come up with solutions. But I wanted to show my students what it takes to make a change. And I ran into Lisa Miller at the Hispanic Festival. And I told her about the lights that was going on. The lighting when people drive to Davenport High School is absolutely horrendous. Someone's gonna die there, sooner or later. I'm telling you right now. Everybody, but see, that school's been open for a year. Nobody said anything, nobody does nothing. And if nobody tells you guys anything, then it's hard. And you got how many schools? All over the county, everywhere. So it's hard for you guys to go and do something. So me and Lisa Miller, I talked to her, I showed a video, and she's putting up a light soon. And these are the kind of things I want to show my students to, well, I know but these, well, no, but you know what I mean. I wanted to show my students what it takes to be a leader, what it takes to stand up, what it takes to actually get things done. So this program is called Nueva, Nuestras Voces Americanas, Our American Voices. But as you can see, it's many different languages from all over because we're all American. We all live here. This is our town. This is our county. This is our state. So without further ado, without breaking Robert Rules of Orders, I forgot to put his name on the list because our president for this group, he got sick, so he couldn't come. So he's the alternate, but I wanted to show him what it takes to stand up, have some leadership skills. He's one of our high school students at Davenport High School. Sorry, go ahead.
Hello, school board. I am Yadiel Morales from Davenport High School's Nueva. Our club is a place for everyone to learn how the system works, how to implement positive change into our community and become a leader to make difference in our school, our community, and to be an advocate regardless of language and culture to make people feel included. Thank you very much for your time.
And last but not least is Vanilla Nandi.
Good evening, school board. I am Filda Vanilla Mwanambuta, and I am a student from Davenport High School. I am a part of a club that is called the GSA, or the Gendered Students Alliance, that was created for children of all different backgrounds to come together and protect one another, but also be the voices that they never had when they were younger. This club is so that all of us can feel included when people will try to exclude us from everything, really. And furthermore, I'd like to thank Miss Lisa Miller for coming to my school and actually listening to the observations we had about not only the school, but our community. That is all. Thank you for your time.
And I want to just say how impressed I am because I am pretty confident that Miss Nandi was not using any type of script and just was speaking freely, which is very impressive. So with no further business to come before the board, this meeting is adjourned.